Welcome to Sage Sisters. We are sisters, besties, moms, and co-founders having a fun catch-up on parenting and life.
In person.
Cheers.
Woo! We do a quarterly retreat with our team, and we are currently in Asheville, North Carolina, and excited for the rest of the team to come in, but we thought we'd record this podcast in person and see how that goes.
Our first live podcast.
Love it.
Yeah, very fun.
So I think it's my topic day today.
It is. Do you want to tease us a little bit with your topic?
Yes. I thought we could do a new installment, which is we're going to be together for this retreat every 3 months. Hopefully we can record this in person every couple months. So I was trying to think of a segment that we could like come back to and then kind of refresh every time. Okay. So I want to talk about our goals, both personally, professionally. We can kind of share what our goals are, and then next time do a postmortem.
Okay, so goals 3 months out.
Like 3 or even 6, just like on this cadence, we'll sort of check in on our path.
Okay. I love it.
Does that work?
Yeah, I love it.
All right, cool. But first, let's do highs and lows. You
want
to start?
I'll start. My high, well, I think this is obvious. This is not the high. I'll give another one, but being in person. Cheers. We are always talking on the phone daily, multiple times a day, but it's so fun to be in person. And Asheville is awesome. I'm like loving it here already. The vibe is great. We are looking out at the mountains as we speak. It's very charming here and peaceful.
I'd heard good things. I think I came and drove through Asheville like in my early 20s, but I've been like blown away. It's absolutely gorgeous. The downtown couldn't be cuter. The food, amazing.
It's great. I think it's going to be a good all-around trip.
Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, so that's an obvious one. But I will say I have one from a parenting perspective too, which is my husband was out of town this weekend, Phil. Mm-hmm. And I had the best weekend with the 3 kids by myself. And it was like a long weekend. We had a lot going on. And I just was like, when it just goes well, the kids were great.
I'm so impressed. When you said that, I was like, ...
I think that's why I'm calling it out, is because a lot of times it goes the other way, where I'm like, by the end of it, I'm exhausted when he comes home and I'm like, take them. But we just had the best time, and they have.
Do you just lock them in their room the whole time? Or?
Yeah, exactly. It works most of the time.
It's the only way.
No, but we just had activities. Like, we didn't overplan, but we had a lot. So Saturday was full of sports, but we also planned like a little fun event. There was like a porch fest going on at a neighborhood nearby. So one of my best friends had her kids, and we went and like strolled around. And then on Sunday we relaxed because Saturday was so crazy. Mm-hmm. But the kids had Spirit Week this week. So it was like activities.
Yeah. So
we had to make cakes. I kind of think at first when the school told me this, I was like,
I'm shook right now. Your great weekend with your kids involved a festival and baking.
I know. They were just in good spirits. I was like mentally ready to take it on. I like didn't even need the glass of wine when they go to bed at night to like regroup.
Wow.
It was great. And the cakes, you have to there's themes, and you have to actually make a cake, and then it's like in a competition. So it's like the kids do it. The cakes are kind of, kids.
Is the kids do it in air quotes here? How heavy-handed were you on those cakes?
The cakes look great. And I would say I was 45% me. I tried to.
I'm going to look at these and judge for myself. But if the cakes look good, that means you're at least 75%.
We have been watching Bake Squad on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And it's a great one. And the kids love it. It's like Ace's favorite show right now. So they had ideas, they had visions, and of course their visions were huge. So partially what I was involved with was taking their vision to a realistic level.
Editing it to a 1-layer cake?
No, we did 2. So we made 2 cakes, and then we would like icing and put a top on it. That's what makes it.
And each kid had a cake. So you made 2
We
2-layer
made 4 cakes.
Yeah.
And then we made muffins because Lola had a vision to put muffins on her cake, which was a little bit of a disagreement at the end. She was overdoing it. So I was like trying to have her reel it in. But anyways, overall, great weekend. Phil came home and I wasn't like on him because it was just.
Contempt was minimal.
Yeah, it was nice.
Wow.
And then
what
at
was
night.
He doing? Did he do something fun?
Yes. Well, he did both. He had a work trip, which was fine. He has some friends at work. I'm sure that was like decent. And then he met his other buddies and went to Cleveland. They flew to Cleveland for a Browns-Giants game. He's a big Giants fan, as you know.
I was like, Cleveland, that makes sense.
So he was in full Giants gear out of Cleveland game. He said that the tailgate at the Cleveland game was almost better than he's ever seen before.
I believe that.
The
Midwesterners know how to get down with the tailgate.
He said they'd like all of the actual people like have buses, like old buses that they bought or ambulances.
Yeah.
And then they like deck those out into being tailgate things. So he said it was like insane. And he wasn't like, he was like, if you were shit talking, I'm sure they would like talk shit back. But he was like, it wasn't that aggressive. Like it was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. Also, I knew I was coming to this, so maybe that's part of it. Like I knew I was going to have some freedom.
Yeah. Well,
it was good.
I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Take to that.
I had a good weekend too. The parents came out. Our parents, we are sisters. They live in Southern Indiana. You live in Nashville, so you get to see them more than I do. I live in the Bay Area.
So they have to make a flight to you, which is harder.
Yeah. So I think relative to the distance, we do pretty well.
Yeah.
We go back to Indiana for a week at July 4th and at Christmas.
Yeah.
And then they come out in like March and September, October timeframe to sort of like split the gaps.
Right.
So we see them 4 times a year, but when you add it all up, it's like, a month a year. Not bad.
Honestly, I think it's great for the distance. It doesn't ever feel like enough. Like, especially like as we get older, I want them to be in our kids' lives more. Like I want them.
Right.
But that's a good amount of time. Like being across the country.
Yeah. I wish it was more. I do struggle living so far away from y'all. And it's like, you guys are always doing cool stuff. And I'm like, oh.
I know. Well, I was having FOMO this time because our other sister, Sarah, was out there for a work trip. So you all met up and I was FOMO.
Totally. Now you know how I feel.
I know.
But it was a really good trip. I feel, I don't know. I feel like we've kind of dialed it in with them.
Yeah. You have a good space to host them.
Yeah. We have a house that's big enough. That helps.
Well, just you have that separate, you have like a separate area.
Yeah.
That they don't have to feel like in your space.
Right. Well, and the kids, they just are so excited to see the kids. But when they come out, we also don't drop everything. I think when they used to come out, I used to feel this like huge sense of like, everything has to be hosted and amazing.
Yeah.
And then it would kind of create stress because like, oh shit, I have work to do. Yeah. And Chris has work to do. And so what we kind of have started doing is like, come for longer. We're going to continue to send the kids to school. We're going to continue to work. And then in the evenings, we'll see you on the days that stuff's happening.
There's a lot of fun things around the Bay Area that they can do to keep themselves.
Well, they're great, but they go for walks and go to a cute restaurant. It's like they kept themselves busy. I didn't feel like I had to entertain them.
I love that. You kind of turned me on to this because I'm like a hoster at heart. I love it. So when people come, I feel like I should do all the things.
I think the word is hostess, but
what did I say?
Hoster.
No surprise. I did. Yeah. No surprise. I got.
I knew what you
meant. But yeah. So like I feel like I always have to do all the bells and whistles and like kind of want to, but it is exhausting. And then you came and I remember one time you were like, don't pick me up at the airport. I was like, what? Yeah. And you were like, I'm the person that you don't have to pick up at the airport and you don't have to clean your house for. And I do. I kind of don't do any of that for you. And it's nice.
Well, I did pick them up at the airport, but then they left really early and they Ubered / I arranged an Uber to get them. And I said, if for whatever reason this falls through, wake me up at 4 a.m. and I'll take you begrudgingly. But like, luckily, of course, it worked out fine.
Yeah.
So it was great. I would say the highlight, we went over to the Bay Area is just incredible. I know it takes like a bad rap around the country, but like it's so dang pretty.
I love it.
We went over to Tiburon, went to Sam's.
That is my favorite place. We used to go there for work when I worked for the winery. And you've taken me there a few times. It's worth the drive over there.
It was great. The drive wasn't too bad. We got good weather. It's kind of a crapshoot on weather sometimes. Coming from like sunny East Bay, and then you go over there and it's like, what? But it was lovely. The boats were out. We had a good view of San Francisco. Yeah, we walked along the shoreline for a while. It was just, chef's kiss.
I'll always remember this story. I did a trip with a bunch of my friends from Santa Monica. This is pre-kid days. And we went up there and I was hosting everyone and wine country because that was at the time that was my job. And so I had organized it. And on our way up to Napa, we were stopping by Sam's and we were having the best time. But one of my best friends, Mary, lost her luggage. They made her check a bag when she had a carry-on.
At the restaurant?
No, on the flight up from LA. And then they made her check it and then they lost it. And I just remember, I'll never forget, we were sitting in this beautiful restaurant right in the middle on the deck watching the boats. And she's on the phone with the airline going, you have the audacity to check my bag the size of a bowling ball and then lose it. And like everybody's staring at us.
I can picture that perfectly.
We were rolling. And then, of course, we were all like...
And I'm sure she had like the cutest outfits planned.
Yeah, the cutest outfit. So then she had to be like stuck with her like airplane outfit, which is better than most people's daily. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I know. I just always remember that. So shout out to Mary. That was a good one.
Can I get some more hard cider over there?
Yeah.
We've got to keep the party going here.
Let's go. All right, let's go low. Yeah, if we go low, we need some alcohol here.
When I go low, we go
high.
My family is injury prone.
Yeah, you have had a lot of injuries.
I was so frustrated. So the parents came out. My 8-year-old daughter Grace has been working on her gymnastics, and she wanted to show off. So she was like showing off, and then it was also crazy sock day the next day or something for their spirit week.
Yeah.
So she was wearing these dumb socks, which that's like probably the parenting intervention I should have done in retrospect. Right. But like,
nah, let them live.
She was wearing her dumb socks and she did some crazy ass gymnastics thing and like fell crazy weird, bonked her foot super hard.
Mm.
There is a scream that's like, oh, they're really in pain.
You knew it.
I knew she was really in pain. Yeah. I didn't see the actual thing, but my mom was like, no.
Yeah. Right when the parents get out there.
Same night of arrival.
Yeah.
Like we were 20 minutes into the visit and we have this new injury. And then, so we iced it, elevated it. You know, I tried to say, let's see how it feels in the morning. And then the next morning, I couldn't tell if she was con artisting me to like
stay home from school,
stay home with the grandparents.
Yeah. Right.
But I do feel like it was still hurting her. So we took her to urgent care. Luckily, she didn't break it. Is the too long didn't read here.
So do we know if she was conning or still or no?
Well, she got her way and then she got a day with grandma and grandpa.
Well played, Grace. Well played.
And she was still limping a little bit. And like she had a basketball game. I knew she wanted to play in it. And she was limping.
That's when you know they're hurt.
So I believe it was still her fault.
Yeah.
Hurting.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, damn, can my family just stay out of... We have a finger split.
I know.
An ankle wrap. It's like, uncle.
Yeah. If you have to go to see the emergency room more than once in a year, that's brutal. And you've gone twice.
Well, this is urgent care. Is that what we're counting? Well,
I'm counting that. But you've gone because of Calvin's surgery too over the summer. That's like 3 or 4 times. Times in the 2 months. 3 months.
No, I know.
It's too much.
It's gross. Low. Okay, what do you got?
My low actually is, it kind of goes with Sage and what we're trying to do here. But Ace is starting to get into video or games, not video games necessarily, but games on the iPad. Okay. So he plays this game called Rivals, which is like football, and he loves it. And Phil introduced it to him. And it's cute. I actually like him fine. He like has a little roster of football, and it's kind of like fantasy football, which she's doing right now too, which is cute. Mm-hmm. But he wanted to download this golf game. And it looked like just a golf simulator game. Yeah. So I let him download it. I think it's called Golf Clash or something like that. Anyways, all of a sudden, I'm supervising him. But like, I look over and there is like a picture of a guy's face. And I was like, who's that? And he's like, oh, that's who I'm playing. I'm like, you play people in this? Not there's the computer? And then there's like a toggle for chat or no chat. And so I toggled it off and then did some research. But you can chat with strangers in this golf game. And it's like, it also says friends, but he doesn't have any friends on this yet. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, it just kind of put me in a bad, like I deleted it. I wasn't ready to deal with it. I can do research later to figure out if I can like actually shut it down from like strangers. But I was just like, this is frustrating. And it's just the beginning of what I'm about to deal with.
Yeah.
In a random video game, strangers can reach out to your children. How terrifying is that? And it looked like, it was like an older guy.
Thank goodness you were supervising.
Well, I know. And like, I wasn't when he was, he's like, always like, Mom, can I download this game? And I take a look quickly and use my fingerprint.
Right.
But like, I could have done more recon before we even downloaded it. But Jesus, I was like, I just thought it was a golf simulator game. And if you scroll down into like the 4th paragraph of the description, it says chat with friends and rivals. And I was like, oh, duh. Anyways,
and by that I mean complete creeps online.
Yes, and I was like, who knows who that was? I hated it. Even if it's just emojis or whatever, it gave me all the ick and the vibe that was like, this world we're living in is too easy for you to lose control of your children.
Yeah.
Through online stuff.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was really low for me.
I just heard this so much when we were interviewing all those moms, but it was like, I found my son chatting with complete strangers through this game. And I was just
it should just never be allowed. It's just like
cringe.
It's cringe. It's like, even if there are probably some decent people on there just playing, but it just gives cringe. And I'm like, I want no part of it, especially not yet. He's too young. It was just, anyways.
Well,
hence why we're doing what we're doing with Sage. But yeah.
Glad you caught it early.
I know, me too. All right, shall we pivot to the topic? I like your topic. That's a good one. I'm glad that's like,
I'm putting you on the spot to like think of goals in real time here. Do you have any, or you want me to start? Because I did have a little bit more time.
Well, yeah, go ahead and start. You can start. And then I do have some in mind.
Well, I kind of, the way that my rubric here was like, what's one for kind of different areas of my life?
Yeah.
Like, one for my marriage, one for parenting, one for personal, one for, I don't know.
Yeah.
So at least that helped me. So my personal one is to try to get out and play tennis 3 times a week and enjoy it.
Like, what do you mean by enjoy it? Are you not enjoying it right now?
No, I totally am. I just get really competitive.
Yeah. No, that doesn't.
I'm moving up to a level where I have to I'm not winning all the time, which is great. Like, I want to be challenged.
Yeah, you need competitiveness.
But I have to also remember, I'm out here for a workout. I'm outside. How lucky am I?
Yeah.
Like, I need
You're getting too competitive
a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I'm not surprised, but I do think that's a good call out for yourself to figure out.
Yeah.
I had a flashback to when we were like playing basketball. We used to play basketball in high school together. So when you were a senior, I was a sophomore. So we had 2 years, a year and a half on the same team. And I'm having a flashback to when we were at Tri-State Gym, not on a team, playing in the summer. And we were playing I think it was even like Robert Sauer and Kyle.
Okay. Just
some random people from my class, like random friends. And I just remember you being like, good. What are you doing? Get down and play defense or something.
Is that my voice?
Yeah.
First of all,
that's your competitive voice.
F you for that voice.
It was just like, I just remember all 3 of us were like, should we be this competitive?
I've been done dirty.
All right, let me try your voice again.
It's like I turned into the Hulk.
Okay, I'll try your voice again. I'm just joking. But it was a little bit just too much for a pickup game. And I distinctly remember it as like a story I like to tell about you and your competitiveness.
Yeah, the competitiveness kind of didn't creep in there.
I think even Robert and I made eye contact like, ooh. It's too far.
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
Keep it fun.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Less competitive, have fun.
Know thyself.
Know thyself.
Okay, do you have your first one?
Yeah, so personal. I would like to get back to working out daily, 5 days at least.
You gotta say daily. Woof.
Well, I and some of the workouts are less than others, but we have joined this gym I've told you about a million times. I'm almost their salesperson, lifetime. And it's just so nice. You go and I work from there and whatnot. But long story short, I've had like a good 5-day workout, sometimes more. And again, it's not like crazy every day.
Yeah.
But lately, the last month and a half, and I thought my life would get easier when the kids went to school and I would have more time. I feel like because work is picking up a little bit, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll do this call and then I'll work out. And then something is always coming up. And so I feel like I've punted the workout in that day more times than I would like to admit in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
And so I would like to just get back to, because it's a stress relief for me.
Oh, a million.
More than anything. It's I could I would like to get more toned. I would like to, all the things. But I think I need it from a stress perspective too. And it's I just need to get back to focusing on it, whether I change my schedule and do it before the kids wake up, or if I just prioritize it in the day. I would like to get back to that.
I like that.
Yeah.
100% mental health workouts. And it's hard to protect it. Here's for me. I know if I try to say lunchtime or later,
it's
I'm screwed.
Right.
I'm done. It ain't happening. Like, I have to get the morning.
Yeah.
And I have to, you get annoyed with me sometimes because I'll like protect it at all costs. And you're like, hey, I got to schedule something. And I'm like, sorry.
No, I think it's important. And I do feel like I do it sometimes, but it's the one thing, like, and I feel like lately I've had to be on a lot more Zooms where I feel like.
I know. We're trying to squeeze in.
Yeah. Like,
this and that.
Well, not that you have to be like super camera ready, but I can't, I feel like I'm like, ooh, I can't squeeze it in and then jump on this call. I'll do it after. And then it's always like, oh, should we regroup after the call? And
well, the poor people on the Zooms with me know I'm showing up looking like all kinds of crazy, but like red faced, straight from a workout.
Straight from a workout. I respect it. And that is what I would like to work on. I think I can easily get back. It's just about prioritizing it again.
Right.
And then I think like some of the other goals, I'm sure that I'll talk about today, like rolls into that.
Well, I will support you, like setting your boundary around workouts because it is like makes everything better.
Yeah. Well, it rolls into I have a kid one. Can I
roll? Baby, roll.
Since it rolls, I would like to be less anxious and like stressy as a mom, spazzy, stressy, whatever the word is. Mm-hmm. I've been like, I'm very self-aware of how I am a lot, which I think is good, but do I change it all the time? No, no. And I just, cause Lily's still small and she's 2, I still feel like I'm not quite out of that like stage and it's not good for my health. And I think that workouts help me, which is why I think it rolls in, but I also need to just actively try to be more chill. How do I do that?
I need to intensely try to be
without like drugs. How do I do that?
I mean, honestly, I'm like therapy and practice. That's what I think.
I was thinking like meditation too. Like maybe I could meditate more. Honestly, this weekend, I told you, they were chill. I think part of the reason it was such a great like weekend is because I was chill.
Yeah.
I kind of was just like, we're just going to go.
Okay. Here's a little test for you.
Okay.
How are you when Lily takes the stairs?
No, I'm getting so much better.
You are. Because that's one for me where I'm like, she's old enough. She can do this. Yes. And then I watch you like.
No, I have gotten a little better. I think just as she gets older, she's getting more comfortable with things. I still like want to watch her coming down or like try to have somebody like one of the siblings hold her hand. But she goes up and down now in a way that's like not.
And like teach her to bum shuffle down and call it.
I know she's very independent. I've tried that, and she says, "No, Mama, no," and like wants to hold, but she does hold the railing and stuff. And sometimes she'll do it. So, anyways, I'm much more relaxed at that. She's now in a big girl bed, and we've got like she doesn't transition like a hero. She transitioned like a hero. So there are things, and we actually just bought pull-ups. She's about to potty train. Ooh. Well, at school, she goes to this little daycare school, and they're already starting to sit there, like, and on the toilet and stuff. So I think they're gonna honestly train her. That'll be my dream.
Girls are usually so much easier.
Yeah, Lola trained herself.
Yeah, so did Grace.
Yeah,
Cal.
Ace, sorry about your kid. Nope. But anyway, so I would like to be a less stressful. I do as a mom think about worst case scenarios a lot. Mm-hmm. I just need to reel it in and be calmer because internally the anxious, when you feel anxious inside, like when you've had a Celsius or 2 on accident, that feeling I'm talking about when you're just like over-caffeinated, anxious, your heart is like, that is how I feel sometimes in motherhood. And I'm like, need to take that away.
Easier said than done, but I like this new era for you. I like the take a minute, like try not to be reactive.
Right.
Energy. It's really hard, especially when you got a little one.
Yeah.
But love it.
Good goal. That's my goal. Okay. Check in.
Like it for you.
Check in 3 months.
You're making little tallies over here every time I see you lose your shit.
Totally. I can't tell you though how many times in the past, not me now, I've been like, hey, honey, would you like to go ahead and put your computer in your bag? Would you like to put your computer? Why don't you go ahead and put your computer in your bag? Put your computer in the bag. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry I yelled. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, regroup. It's just.
Yeah.
I think my kids even know my pattern too. That's why they continue to not listen. And then they just know once she loses her shit, I have to do it, but then she's going to apologize.
I don't know if this will be helpful because it's like, shut up. Everyone has their own techniques at work. But I have started going without raising my voice because like I just don't want to be a yeller, but sometimes I can also like lose my shit.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to say I'm getting frustrated and I am moving up one level on the annoyance scale.
Yeah.
So you've moved up one level.
Yeah, I like it.
And I just say it.
Yeah.
I don't like show it. Right. And then I kind of verbally
Move
will say, yeah. And they know.
What level do you have to get to for them to listen?
3. Well, okay. So it's like.
So 5 is yelling, you get to 3.
5 is I'm blowing my gasket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm screaming at you.
Yeah.
1 is gentle parenting. So I go, and usually it starts like this.
I love the
go,
honey.
It's time to go brush your teeth.
Yeah.
You know? And then I'm like, guys, I feel like no one's listening. Time to brush your teeth.
Level 4 is like,
so then I start to
am I the only one in this room?
Yeah. But my kids, I don't know the mechanism of going, guys, I'm moving up a level. I'm more annoyed now.
Yeah. Because
I was when I started. Right?
My kid's personality will wait till at least 3, but then I don't get to 5. I like it. I'm going to try it.
Try it.
Yeah.
Just, it's easy to go from 1 to 5.
1 to 5 apology is how I've been doing it.
But I don't want to enable where it's like they have to get to a 3 and I have to do 2 reminders. Yeah. So I'm tempted to move my scale to a 3-point scale. Okay. But right now it's a 5-point scale.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to.
I just don't want to be the yeller. I don't want to get to yell level.
Yeah.
And then apologize.
But you should hear me when I'm on a 3. Like I'm on the brink. I'm like, I'm at my line and I will get upset after this. And now there's going to be consequences for the next thing. You know, it's like the tone. Yeah. But I try not to go loud.
Yeah.
I just went loud while I said that.
Yeah, of course you did. But I get it though.
I said try.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually, that just reminded me of a funny story this weekend though. Because in my chill mom stage, I was like, you two just need, Ace and Lola, the oldest, you two just need to learn to coexist. Just coexist. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to. Mm-hmm. And so now, literally the last 3 days, Lola or Ace have been coming in. Mom, you know, Lola's in my room saying, we just need to coexist.
I want space.
Yeah, they're using that. And it's actually kind of funny.
It's kind of working though.
Yeah. So
all right.
I was just thinking that was my learn to coexist is my new stop effing yelling at each other. Anyways, okay. Do you have a kid one?
My kid one. Well, let me do my personal one first, which I don't think. Did I do 2 dates?
You did tennis. You didn't do.
Okay, yeah.
You have another personal?
Well, kind of marriage oriented.
Oh, yeah.
So that was more very personal, me.
Okay.
The next one is, and I think I alluded to this last podcast, but Chris and I forgot our anniversary. It's just been 2 ships passing in the night. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it was a good moment of check-in for me. I was like, I might need to recalibrate this a pinch.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And
you both did it, which is good.
Well, the summer was just so hectic. Yeah. I feel like we kind of got off our kind of good routine. Mm-hmm. And then fall, you know, gets busy with all the sports and all the things. Yeah. So I decided my goal, pull back 2 notches on kid activities.
Okay.
And I just...
2 notches?
Okay, maybe 1, but I was thinking 1 for each kid.
Oh, right. Okay. So what does that look like? They're allowed?
Well, so like the mom text thread was popping off. Hey, girls flag football registration just opened. Like, hurry up and we'll all get on the same team.
You were getting the panic of like, I got to enter
the
more
FOMO
things.
started. And I was like, also, you know, I'm a total feminist. And I'm like, girls flag football.
Yeah, of course.
Wave that all the way in. Like, how cool and cute is that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to support that. That sounds adorable.
Right.
But I was already like,
you're already in other activities.
Well, she just started gymnastics that she's super into, and we still have basketball during that season. So I was like, we already have our 2 things.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, gymnastics is only once a week, but I'm just like, I
if
thought about the lean in,
Yeah.
which is like, hey, this would be 2 more things a week, but with a lot of people I really like for a sport that I think sounds cute.
Yeah.
And everybody's doing it. It had like real everybody's doing it energy.
Yeah.
And I already was like,
too much for your family.
Well, what happens, and this goes back to Chris, but it's like we get busy and every night we have something.
Yeah.
And then where is date night? Like there's just no time. And like to try to jam it in after a thing, it's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And I really love the idea of like, I want you to get freaking bored and play outside the neighborhood. And like, there's no time for that if you have all this shit.
No, I know. Yeah. We talked about
I was like proud of myself for being like, no, we're not going to do that. But I will say that was step one. And I literally just did it last week. And it's like, okay, that's my new goal is like, I'm going to be this person who
says no to some things,
says no to a lot more things to free up more space.
Yeah.
And here's my
for you and Chris, I love that.
2 date nights a month.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
That feels realistic.
And it's hard because we don't have family nearby. So the sitter's always expensive. And I start going like, damn, this was an expensive dinner when you start tallying up that babysitter bill.
Right.
But the country club now has a kids club, which we can utilize.
Yes.
And I found a new like high school babysitters club.
That's
kind
where
of
it's
thing,
at. You
where
need
I'm like,
to get in with like the babysitters who are younger, who are cheaper, but also like
they're
available.
also eager beaver and
available. They're available. And they're very great babysitters. They're active and like actually play with your kids.
100%. So I found like a new babysitters club number.
Love that.
So 2 dates a month. That's the goal. We'll see how I track.
I actually am just going to jump off on that one too, because as I say, like, oh, that's doable 2 a month. I mean, we haven't been doing that either. So like, I do feel like we have gotten babysitters, but we've done it for activities with friends because something's like come up and it's like, oh, we have to go out for so-and-so's birthday or somebody invited us.
Yeah.
But it's not been solo.
Mm-hmm.
And so for our anniversary was the first solo date we've had in forever.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course we blew it on a steak restaurant, which was great. But then we were the whole time going, we've made this at home we love the steak salad at home. How much do you think this would cost out? It cost a lot. Like it was so expensive. We could have gone to freaking Hawaii. We could have done a vacation in Florida.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not joking. It was expensive dinner. But anyways, I think though,
find your cheap spot.
Find a cheap spot. And we are close to again Lifetime, but they have parents' night out, but you have to be 3. We're very close. So when Lily is 3, you can do parents' night out Thursday,
What's
Friday.
The max? Is like Ace going to age out of it the second?
12. We checked. So you can be 12.
Okay.
3 to 12, but it's 3 days a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And you can do it for 3 hours and you can leave property. So it's basically like
you guys are gonna have 3 date nights every week.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think there's you have to get in early.
Okay.
Like it's kind of a wait list type of thing.
Got it.
But I could plan that out easily for 2 a month when she's 3.
2 a month feels like the doable, but not crazy.
No.
Some people do every week and I'm like, how? I don't understand.
I think that would be nice. I just don't see it for us right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much going on and it just
Maybe
feels almost like that would be more pressure. Like that would just to pull that off.
Right. But maybe that's our next goal. But for this stage, 2 a month would be a vast improvement of where we're at.
All right. For my marriage one, I'm doing that too.
Okay.
Cheers to that. Okay.
I keep drinking this. I'm almost out of my cider.
I know.
My parenting one is I've been a little bit more loosey-goosey with the screen time boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to kind of get back to
why do you think that is working more
so when work gets crazy and then Grace is home and I don't have time to deal with her shit and I'm not kind of holding the line and being like, go play outside, go play with the neighbor. Do an art project. Cause I know the art project's going to have 15 questions related to it.
Right.
I just kind of look the other way. And I think summer was so chaotic that it kind of started creeping. And then the other day I was like, we obviously talked about screen time with Sage stuff. And I was kind of tallying up
how much.
And I was a little bit like,
you didn't feel good with the number. Yeah.
No, it is not every day, but it's just there are days where I feel like it's kind of running up over the 2-3 place. Under 2, I actually feel fine with. If it's good stuff.
Or if they also have active stuff that day too, separate from the screen time.
Right. But there were a couple days recently where I can remember where I was like, if I actually am honest about that, you were creeping over 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you were watching YouTube Kids, which is a bunch of content that's borderline junk. And it wasn't the good stuff. And I'm just like, well, I kind of look the other way.
Yeah. That's a good one. I think that I start to notice it. My husband's better at it than me. Phil is just
because they don't deal with it as much.
You said it, not me. But I think he gets more fed up sometimes with it, and we'll just be like, it's not the iPad, it's the TV. And I kind of love him doing that because it helps me. But when it's Ace and Lola, but Ace more, when he starts to get upset when we take it away because we have to be somewhere, that is when we say you can't have it for a while. Mm-hmm. You're too addicted. Yeah. And we kind of have this thing where he's like, he's actually said before, he's like, whatever, I'll do Sage if you want me to. And I'm like, that's not what we're talking about. I'm like, that's not even what we're doing, but like,
we're not even live.
Yeah. Hold your horses. Don't put pressure on me. No, but I'm like, honey, no, it's just like, you can't, when it starts to control your emotions. Yeah. You have to
notice the bad behavior.
I do feel like you're addicted to it in a way that makes me want to take it away more.
Right.
And so it's kind of been interesting to like hold that line.
Mm-hmm. So hold the line a little bit better than I have at least the last month. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go to professional, and we are kind of ready to take. So let's go a little bit faster. But let's do maybe 2 max. Okay. Like on the Sage front, what is your...
I've got a Sage personal one.
Okay.
I've told you this a little bit, but like, I really do want to work on, I'm new to entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. This is my first venture
into the darkness.
It's very eye-opening. And especially at the beginning, we have a very small team. We're doing a lot of things that like, I don't necessarily feel like it's like I'm super skilled at or like qualified right away, and it's like, I know I have the skill sets to do all of these things. Some of it may just take me a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But it's so funny, like our financials, right? Like we are going to hire somebody to do our books soon, but right now it's me. Like it takes me a little bit longer. I just have imposter syndrome a lot of times.
Yeah.
Or like when I'm talking to, like, the VC world is not my world, and so when they're talking about, I went to this school or that school, and their network, or the, lots of money they made, or different businesses they've sold. And then it's like, well, what's your background? And I'm like, it's like a good background, but I just feel like it's not good enough. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I have a ton of experience in sales. I've got a ton, but I just, the imposter syndrome creeps up so much.
Yeah.
And I want to like somehow get better at that, or like have that like not be so much of a thing, where I just have more confidence in myself with it.
Here's the thing that I feel like not many people know is like, I got my MBA from Stanford. I still am in these groups of circles with these like on paper,
right,
very elite entrepreneurs who've had a lot of success.
Right.
And most of them have so much imposter syndrome. Like you can't believe it. So it's like,
it does make
I know
me
like your story
bit.
Is like, oh, well, it's because I don't have X, Y, and Z. And I'm saying everybody, matter the X, Y, and Z.
They also have it. People who have the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes me feel a little bit better.
And like, and like entrepreneurship is bizarre. It's like, someone once told me, and this like resonated with me. It's like, there are 30 functions at a company. Mm-hmm. So like finance would be one.
Right.
Accounting would actually be a different function.
Right.
Marketing has a few. Engineering has a few. But it's like you break up a software, and I know our business, this is like tech business. It's like, we need 30 employees.
We have 5.
We have 5 and 4 contractors that are working like minimal hours, really.
Right.
So it's like, we just don't have freaking enough people.
Yeah.
So we each have to do 4 jobs, and or 5, or 6. Yeah. And it's like, it's just, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's literally insane. And it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the anxious.
Yeah.
And it's like, people always say they want power. People are always like, oh, if I was in charge, I would do X, Y, and Z. But it's like, this is what comes with.
Well, what I'm finding too, though, is like, you never have as much power as you think. You're still relying on somebody else,
to give you money or
something, it's always like, we're waiting on, I guess it's just sales too. It's like, like we really want partnerships. Right. And it's like, I just feel like, even though we are in this position of like creating the culture we want and growing, the business the way we want, it does feel a little like you still don't have full control, which is interesting because I didn't know that side as much.
Yeah, you're always beholden to something.
And honestly, I've been loving it. It's been a crazy ride so far. I'm like super passionate. I'm all in. I couldn't be more like thrilled to be doing it with you. You do talk me off a ledge all the time, which is great. You know, it's like, because you've experienced it. So you're like, yeah, like even you saying that other people who even have a different, like better pedigree than me is like experiencing like imposter syndrome does make me feel better. I don't know, misery loves company, but like it does make me feel better.
I honestly think you undervalue some of the skills that I see, which I don't see always with like the pedigree and the on paperness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you have every skill you need to do this. And
when I
get it. It's new.
What I need to do is like, we always joke it's the Endress Confidence, our maiden name, but like we do have a lot of confidence as a family. I think you, Sarah, and I all have a lot of confidence, which is great. And I would love to. And I don't know what our parents did to do that. I think they didn't put us up against each other. There's all kinds of different things. Maybe that's a topic for one day, is like the dynamics of our sister family. I think it's cool.
You made that sound like
like sister wives. Our actual sisters. I did. But you know what I mean? Like, I just need to bring some of the confidence I have in other aspects of my life now into this new thing, because it's new.
It's just new.
It's
to me, I'm like, it's just new, and the only way through it is through it. And and like I can remember like my first startup, everything seemed like the biggest deal.
Right.
High highs, low lows.
Yeah.
The rejections from investors or from partners, or, you know, it felt like, oh my God, we're never going to make it. Then one good thing happens. We're going to make it. It's like, I just have like dulled myself into.
I will say my sales background of just rejection has helped out a little bit. That does make me feel a little less like
100%
up, and you know, like, but it is true. It's like,
but it's like you just get skin as thick as a rhino, and it's like,
I guess they have thick skin. That seems like a weird choice.
Was it? I don't know. It came to me so naturally. I don't know where.
Never heard it,
but it's just like, it's like, I don't know. But I still get anxious just about like, we did our homework, we did all the things, but it's like, is this really going to work? Is this really, you know, it's like, I have the wiggles of doubt too. Like, I'm not saying I don't. We're creating something out of nothing.
Totally.
And it's like, I think this is correct. All of our work is leading us here. And I have to like continually remind myself, it's like,
you're right.
Stay in your body. You believe in this. Like, this is good. Yeah, like, don't
stay the course.
In certain rejections, you know, I can take a lot of beatings, and it takes a lot.
I just can't wait to continue to say thick skin like a rhino. In fact, maybe for our retreat this week, we could carry that in there.
Skin like a rhino, baby.
Skin like a rhino.
Doesn't affect me. Let's go.
All right. Do you have any other sage ones? Sage. Well, I guess, do you have a sage one? Because that was mine.
Okay, I have one of each. So my professional one was when some of those doubts that we just talked about, like, kind of creep in.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's rejection from a partner that we were hoping to get, or whether it's rejection from an investor that I really liked, or whatever. My tendency is work harder. Right? It's like,
I know that about you.
Let me grind more. Like, let me do more. Let me pump out like more content. Let me whatever.
Right.
And I know in my head, it's like, no, you got to still work smart. Yeah. Like that's just a defense mechanism for your anxiety. Like, that's not actually, and like a little bit of anxiety is good. Yeah. A little anxiety pushes you. Yeah. But I need to just like stay in my body and like work smart, trust myself. Yeah. So I don't know, like, exactly, it doesn't have like as quantitative of a goal, but it's like, did I start moving into this headspace of like, let me grind? Yeah. Or can I stay in this like wiser, slower, thoughtful persona? Like, that's kind of like my goal. I think that's a great one. And I kind of think about like, we should add to it as a team too, because you know that Friends episode when they're trying to get the couch up the stairs? Have you ever seen that? And they're like, it gets stuck and they're like, pivot. I can't, like, I picture that when we are talking about like when one conversation doesn't go our way and then all of a sudden it's like, pivot, we're moving the business this direction. You know, it's like, I do think it would be nice 100%. To like
take a moment before we start pivoting and changing a bunch of stuff. And that is where brilliance happens. Like you have done that sometimes where it's like, I had this call, I have a new idea, grind. And we're pivoting.
Yeah.
Brilliance has come from that. But I kind of like I don't want you to work yourself into the ground in those moments. Right. That is your personality.
Well, and it's like, it's a balance, right?
Yeah.
Like some amount of like feedback and pivot is required.
Yeah.
And some amount is like unproductive shitstorm.
Yeah. A balance. Okay.
So you can hold me to that. See how I'm doing.
That's
one that I'll ask you next time how I'm.
Yeah. I can't wait to check in. This is a good one. All right. Last one for actual Sage. We've kind of alluded to it a little bit, but it's partnerships. I would really like to have some partnerships solidified to grow the Sage Parents Initiative, which is really around building a community around what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Which is like safer technology for kids and introducing it to them in the right way. Mm-hmm. And so I would like to have built a community.
What does that mean? Like parents.
Social, yes, but also, yeah, I think it's mostly social. Like our partnerships, getting our name out there a little bit more in a way that like builds a community that knows who we are and truly believes in what we're doing. And then like obviously when we launch our Sage Chat app and like other apps down the line, we have this community already. That's my goal right now. That's what I'm building. And so I would like to have one is some big partnerships that come with it. And then two is like the community behind that.
Yeah. I love that.
So that I would like to be further along in that in 3 months.
Celebrities, where are you?
Who believes in this and has a lot of passion?
Come to us.
Yeah.
I think we'll get this though. And honestly, we're knocking on doors and they're picking up the phone and they're doing calls with us.
We've had really great calls, really exciting things that are potential. We got to get them over the line.
Yep. Okay. Good goal. Mine is maybe not surprisingly more in my area, which is in the next, well, right at about the 3-month mark from now will be the very first launch of Sage Chat to the first user cohorts. And then by 6 months, like I want to be like full blown sick out pilot.
There. Yeah.
But I want that to just go really well. And of course there's always the tension between like, how many features do you jam into the beginning? What's good enough?
Right.
And then of course the engineers are like begging for more time and
the natural
tension that exists. But it's like, I just want to feel really good about where we land on those trade-offs. And I want to have a really successful launch.
I think that's good.
Sage Chat. And like my gauge for this is like in my own gut, do I know it's good? And I know that's like a little bit maybe arrogant, but it's like,
right.
I feel like I do know what good looks like.
Yeah. You do.
And, we're still building. It's not there yet. So it's like, I just want to get through and launch something I'm super freaking proud of.
And not give up on specific features that we feel really strongly about.
And also not be like so insane that's like, I need everything under the sun. Like, again, that's like the work smarter, harder.
Yeah.
So it's like, I need to pick my battles. Yeah. I need to pick the right battles.
A lot of what this retreat will be this week. Yeah.
But successful launch of Sage Chat by the next retreat.
I love it. With our powers combined, with our goals combined.
World domination. All right, cool. So let's wrap it up. What's your... Which one are you?
I'm obviously Pinky.
I had never thought of us like that.
Yeah, it's perfect. I never thought about it until this moment, but as I said it, I was like,
I used to watch that with my childhood friends. Like, you know what we need to start saying to each other? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? And then we're like,
yes, I love Rosé or whatever. No, world domination. Oh, okay. Here we are. We've just taglined ourselves.
And now we are a cartoon. All right. Love it. Tell me about your obsession.
My obsession this week is something that I've had for a while, but I saw an Instagram influencer using it in a different way.
Sorry,
and I'm in the brain.
So stupid.
Me too. It's going to stick, sadly. I just did that to myself.
You did.
But my obsession is the frother, the hand frother. Do you have one of these?
Hold on, back up. What are we talking about?
Obsessions. We're on to obsessions
I know,
now.
But frother. Oh, of a
hand frother. Yeah, like a
I was thinking some
coffee.
sort of like hand massager.
No, I was thinking like the frother where you push the button and it's like a little blender. Milk frother
for your hand.
Yeah. I mean, we got off a little bit from what I was talking about, but yeah. So I have had this frother for a while. Okay. One of my friends gifted it last Christmas when we did Give Your Favorite Obsession Under $10. Mm-hmm. And I used it a little bit.
Okay. One question.
Yeah.
I have a frother that's like in the bottom of like it's like a kind of like a Yeti mug that froths milk. It is such a bitch to clean.
Mm-hmm. This is better. Get this. It's literally like $7.99 on Amazon. They have a couple brands. I don't even know which one I have.
It's like the wand ones.
The wand. Okay. And you zap it and you hold it and it just in your cup froths it. So it's good for coffee.
And then you just rinse it off.
And then you just rinse it off. And then I lay it on the counter and then when it's dry, put it away.
Like that.
And I have seen this person on Instagram who I follow use it with the green drink, like the A ones or whatever. We're doing some kind of live it up one and it tastes good. And so I use it with the water and the green drink. I use it now with protein in my coffee.
Okay.
And it just works great when you just like use a little creamer in your coffee.
I feel less strongly about all the like supplements, but I love
it's not even supplements. It's like but yeah. Okay. Fair. You don't have to do protein in your coffee.
Yeah. I like this just for like straight up better milk in my daily coffee.
And it takes 30 seconds or less.
Does the almond milk get frothy?
Enough. I mean, it's not like you're looking at making a drawing in your coffee, but it froths it enough that it's great.
Okay.
And anyways, it's under $10 and I just started to reuse it again.
Yeah.
So it's my new obsession.
Okay. All right. I like that.
What's yours?
I have not great skin. I don't know if it's showing up on there. I'm sure I'll get like analyzed here. The lighting's pretty good.
The lighting's not bad.
But I have struggled with acne and bad skin like from birth, I feel like. This has been a lifelong.
A little dramatic, but yeah.
Lifelong journey.
And
like I also have very sensitive skin. So like I'll try different products and like, oh, it won't work or I'll break out or I'll have like a rash even. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it's like so annoying to like thread this needle. No. Like Retin-A, get out of here. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
So I had this.
Is it retinol or Retin-A?
I think Retin-A is a brand of retinol.
Okay.
Don't quote me.
You get that tough rhino skin going. Okay, go on.
So I had this. Why am I forgetting the brand? This really great concealer from Bare Minerals.
Okay.
Do you remember that? Like,
yes.
It had like its moment in the 90s.
Is this the one that got discontinued?
It got discontinued.
Yes. You turned me on to it.
Okay. So I felt like I had this perfect concealer.
And then Erase Paste. Do you remember Erase Paste from Benefit? You turned me on to that one too. Discontinued.
See? All these products that I love.
Oh, I loved that one.
So
and Becca, our new one. You still have some leftovers.
I like bought that in bulk. The Becca Under Eye.
Loved that.
Concealer is magical.
Discontinued.
I know.
I mean, you can still get it, but it's like jacked up in price.
Black market that.
Okay, go on. I cut you off.
No, that's okay. So the Bare Minerals concealer got discontinued. And for the last year, I have been trying to find something that I love as much. And I went through, I don't know, like Sephora top, maybe 10. And 5 of them like broke me out, like, or like I had a reaction to.
Yeah.
And then 5, I just was like, had different things. They were fine.
Is this under eye or is this all face?
No, this is like for blemishes or like as I get older, like
a
spots.
Foundation type.
I can't wear like a full foundation and I can't wear a like cream all over my face. Like I basically can't wear anything. So to cover up my spots, I need like a good light concealer.
Yeah.
And I tried Merit stuff and I thought that was fine. But like I finally found a face pencil from Jones Road.
Okay.
That I think is it. I found my thing and it's like the right consistency. It stays on.
Is it light, pricey? What's the price? You don't have to know. Is it like middle of the road?
I would say medium.
Okay.
It wasn't more expensive than any of the ones I was getting at Sephora.
Okay.
So maybe like, I'm going to guess somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah. That seems doable. When you start getting into like 40, 50s, I'm like, ooh, I have to really make sure it's good.
And I've even tried those, but I just didn't find one that I was like, this is it. So anyways, Jones Road face pencil.
I'll try it.
And also just like if you have a sunspot or if you have like a blemish, this one's it.
I have after the third baby, I started to get weird sunspots. And I got one of those.
Blaming the baby, huh?
Yeah, I am. But I did get one of those. Is it BBLs or one of those like laser things? yes, combination. Once,
yeah,
I loved it, but they come back a little bit. But I'm here for that. And I know that anytime you have suggested something, I've liked it because you do so much research on it. I'm more of the trial and error, quickly buy something.
Well, I feel like you have such good skin. It's like anything looks fine.
Well, I used to use that Dior flash spray.
Yeah, it looked great.
Loved it. Discontinued.
What?
Everything's getting discontinued. I think that was like wrong to the environment for being an aerosol can or something, but I was like, how bad is it? I really loved it. Anyways, okay, that's a good obsession. I'll try it.
Okay. Well, hopefully it helps somebody out there.
This was super fun. I hope we get to do way more podcasts in person because this was very enjoyable.
Every quarter, baby.
Once a quarter.
All right. Well,
signing off.
Lilas.
Oh, yeah.
I drank my entire
You drank your Lilas.